Yes, good morning. This is Joe standing in for Rip One Outdoors. He's having some issues with his sciatic nerve, so he asked me if I would do a video for him. I said, yeah, I can do something or another. So let's go ahead and roll that intro there, Rip One. We're back, and we're riding in Hideaway Lake today. It's a little development that I've lived in for the last 38 years or so. And we're just going to take a ride around the lake. I can't ride the route I normally take because they're doing some road resurfacing over towards the entrance. So we're going to do a little modified ride today. You can see the lake there off to the front. It's a 200-acre lake. It's a gated community. It's been here about probably 50 years or so, and I bought a lot in here about 38 years ago and built a house. Morning. And it's a nice place. When I moved in here, when I built my house here, it was only about 350 houses in here, mostly a retirement community, but now there's probably well over 1,000 houses, and it's just a lot of young people, older people, whatever. Much busier than what it was, but it's still a pretty quiet place to live. Especially nice to get out and ride the bike. It's about 7 miles. If you go the longest distance around the lake, about a 7-mile ride, so it takes about 20-25 minutes. I try to when I'm working from home, teleworking, I eat a quick lunch, and if the weather's nice, I get on and I take a ride around the lake, and then after I get off from work, and toward the afternoon, I'll sometimes take a second ride around the lake. I'm on the my Velotric Nomad, and I bought this bike and bought one for my wife. We bought 2 bikes right around the Black Friday last year. They had a good sale on. I got 2 bikes for $2,200, which I thought was a pretty good deal. I think she got the Discover, the commuter bike. I think I paid $1,000 for it and $1,200 for this Nomad, which is a fat tire version. I was riding just a cheapo Swin bike for a little over a year, just daily, taking about a 2.5-3 mile ride on it. And it was kind of hard because this is pretty hilly up in here, and there's a couple of these hills that really wear you down on that bike. It didn't even have any. It was just a single speed bike. So when Richard bought his Magicycle, I went down and rode it. And to be honest, the first time I rode it, I wasn't that sold on it. I said, I don't know if this will work for me that well. I really need to get good at a lot of exercise, get my heart rate up. And so I wasn't totally sold on it. He bought it up here one day. He was doing a video, and he let me take it on the ride that I was taking on my Swin bike, and I said, "Wow, this is a big difference." I said, "I like this because you can set that thing, your pedal assist and your gear level to whatever you want, level of effort you want, really." And I found that I could ride a lot further and still get a good workout, and for about the same amount of time. To me, that's the beautiful thing about these things, is you can actually get out, and I really enjoy getting out and riding. I look forward to it each day. Didn't that much look forward to riding my Swin bike that much, but just being outside, outside and seeing all the stuff going on, all the green stuff, and it's just a pleasure being outside riding, and you're getting some exercise. So it beats sitting inside watching TV, sitting on the couch, you know, doing nothing, that's for sure. Right now, all the flowers are gone. If I'd have rode this ride a couple of weeks ago, it was beautiful out here. All the azaleas were in full bloom, many flowers out. But we had a cold spell came through last week. It was actually 29 degrees here on Monday morning, so all the flowers died and fell off. So, but everything is, the grass kind of turned back brown after that cold spell, but it's kind of already turning back green again. It's in the probably low 80s today, but it's cloudy. I think it's a good chance of rain, some rain coming in this afternoon later on. So we'll see how that goes. It's South Mississippi weather. You know, they always say if you don't like it, just give it a day, and it'll change on you. We had to go down to New Orleans this morning to pick up my youngest daughter and her husband came in from Orlando. We went to the airport and picked them up. Just got back to the house a little bit ago. We live in here on the other side of the lake from where we are now. On this side of the lake, I got a daughter and her husband and my 3 grandkids. They live over here. It's just straight across the lake from us. They've been living in here almost 7 years, I guess. It's just nice having them close by. Yeah, as I was talking about the lake, it's a 200-acre lake, and it's people during the summertime they do quite a bit of water skiing, and a lot of the fishing is pretty good in it. There's crappie, bass. I don't fish in it too much anymore. I did quite a few years when I first moved up here. But I don't have a boat anymore. I'd like to get me another one, just a little small, maybe aluminum boat, flat boat that I could fish in the lake, take the grandkids out, let them fish some. But a little later on, look at doing that. Hope the wind is pretty high today. I hope it isn't interfering with my volume too much. Just past my daughter's house. I was ringing my bell when I go by. So yeah, you see, it's not too much. It's lots of this area is. You're never over a quarter of a mile from the lake. But a little story to tell you. When I first bought the lot up here, the first day we come up here, the whole family came up here to help. We were going to start clearing the lot away. My mom came up, and my dad, all my brothers, Mary, and we had worked till about lunchtime, and we was all getting pretty hungry. So my mom said, "Well, I'll run out to McDonald's and pick us all up something to eat." So she left, and we waited. And, about an hour and a half, here she comes. She was coming from the other way, and we said, "Well, you got the food?" She said, "No, I'm still riding around trying to find my way out of Hideaway Lake." She had just riding in circles. So, it's a lot of streets, zigzag back and forth, and if you're not used to it, that ain't the first time that's happened. I've had other folks leave my house and ride around and wind up calling me, "How the heck did we get out of here?" You know, so it's definitely takes a little getting used to. But it's some nice riding out here today. Talking about this bike, it's a Velotric Nomad, and it's a good bike. I really enjoy it. It's very comfortable. It's got the swept back handlebars here. It's good riding stance, set upright riding. Hydraulic brakes. Good power. The only thing that I think at this point I'm looking for in a bike is I would like the next bike I get, I want torque sensors on it versus the cadence sensor. Had a chance to ride one about 3 weeks ago. went down to Ocean Springs to a bike store and rode a Venture 2. Had the torque sensor on it, and I tell you, it was a considerable difference in the feel of the ride. It doesn't have that surge when you take off, or that delay that you see on the cadence sensor. You feel like you're more connected with the bike than you are I am with this one here. It's a good bike. I mean, I feel like I enjoy riding it, but I'm just waiting for. I think we're going to start seeing more bikes come out with the torque sensor on them. I'm already seeing, you know, different companies coming out with them, and the price is dropping down on them. Whenever I bought this one here, you couldn't hardly find one, and they were up in the $3,000 range. So whenever someone comes out one, it's affordable, you know, I'll look at possibly getting me one of those. Till then, I'll just continue riding this, and I really, it's a good bike. I usually ride about 15. I like to ride about 15 miles an hour. I'm running in PAS3 and in the 5th gear. It gives me some pretty good resistance. You feel like you've got some pretty good workout when you're done. I'll just tell you talk a little bit about things I like to do. Other than ride bike, the thing I do, my other hobby is I do iRacing. And I don't know if you ever heard of it or not, but it's a racing simulator. Started doing it about 2 years ago. I'd been doing the online racing things since about 2003. Me and Richard and Donald, Mary's sister's husband, we would go out and race online. NASCAR 2003, and that was fun, but it kind of company sold out. NASCAR sold the rights to another company, and the game wasn't what it used to be. And I started using the Xbox for a while, doing Forza Motorsports, and I just felt like I wanted something better, more simulated a real racing car, so I started doing the iRacing. iRacing is, if you're 3 years ago when COVID first came in, NASCAR wasn't able to run their races, so they actually let the drivers do online racing with using iRacing. And if you were watching the races on television, you couldn't hardly tell the difference between watching. You thought you were watching an actual race. It's pretty good. So you can run different types of cars. You can run the NASCAR cars, Infinity Series. If you want to run Indy cars, Formula One, dirt track cars, stock, the Outlaw Series, dirt track cars, they're all there. I run primarily the NASCAR stuff, and kind of moving more right now towards the road courses, running the GT3s and the Mazda MX-9. It was kind of funny because the first time when I started racing it, I recorded a couple of races and posted them online just so people could see. And folks at a few ladies at the church the next day, and they say, how in the world do you do that? How do you were in Atlanta yesterday driving a race car, and you're back today. How you do that, you know? Well, I had to tell them, no, I wasn't actually there. I was virtually there. But they actually thought I was a race car driver. I'm gonna run down here a second. We'll look at the lake real quick. This is the lodge. Got a guy sitting down there fishing. We got some party barges parked here. They got a beach area around here. I say this place gets pretty busy in the summertime. So you can see the lake pretty good from here. So anyway, getting back to the iRacing, if any of you do race on iRacing, holler, give me a text or something or other, and we'll try to hook up online sometime. It's a lot of fun. I run a race just about every night, and I shoot for, you know, top 10 finish. If I get a top 10 finish, I'm happy. If I get a top 5, I'm ecstatic. So every once in a while I'll win a race every now and then. Last night I come in second. I've got a nice rig. I'll try to get a picture to Richard so he can post a picture of my sim rig. It's a triple screen. Got the nice pedals and racing wheel, and got bass shaker, which helps me feel the vibrations in the track. I can feel the rumble strips, and when the cars pass me, like I said, you know, it's just like I feel the same vibration in my car. So it all helps in the what they call the immersive experience. We've always done stuff, a lot of stuff associated with racing. We got into the Richard's talked about this a little bit. Maybe we done the RC. Well, we first started out with RC planes, and we done that for a few years. That was a lot of fun. We started out with the little small foam planes and went up all the way to the big, you know, 60-inch wingspan, large planes with the 2-cycle engines and 4-stroke engines, you name it. But that's a very expensive hobby, and you can invest $1,000 in a plane, and just one mistake, either a mechanical failure or a human error, and destroy that plane. And got tell you a lot of stories about that for sure. That's where we got our name, the Wrong Brothers, because it's like we were doing everything, instead of doing it right, like the Wright brothers, we were doing a lot of stuff wrong. I never forget the first plane that I bought was I think it had about 60-inch wingspan. It was a Cessna 172. Spent a couple of weeks putting that thing together, and we took it down to a little park area there in town, and never could get that thing off the ground, man. It seemed like the engine was the electric motor was spinning up really hard, but it didn't have any power, it seemed like. We would throw it, it would go a little piece, 30 feet, and just fall. Did that over and over. Every time it would fall, it would break something. So we finally figured out what the problem was. They had the prop on backwards. So once we put the prop on correctly, I took it home, repaired a few things, and took it back down to the old Picayune airport, and took off with it. Made about 2 circles around, and then all of a sudden, just the plane lost contact with the controller, and the plane just took off on its own and wound up crashing into a concrete parking lot and just smashed it to pieces. I'll try to find a picture of that to post out here. So yeah, it's just too anxious, and you know, didn't have any experience flying remote control planes that much, and you know, they kind of warn you against going out on your own for the first time. Get somebody that's got experience, teach you the ropes, you know, or do the buddy cable, so you let somebody else that's got some experience take control of it when you get in trouble. But we didn't do none of that. Let's say that's why they call us the Wrong Brothers. So And we done that for several years, 4 or 5 years, and wound up crashing out a lot of our planes and got out of it for various reasons. One, it's a lot of, you make a lot of trips, drive all the way up to Poplarville, and it'd be too windy to fly, whatever. And as you get older, your eyes aren't as good, you can't see as well, so kind of don't do that too much anymore. I think my youngest brother Donald still does it some. He's got a plane or two. And then we got into RC cars. Started racing the 1/10 scale Traxxas / pickups. And we actually built a RC track down at my Richards and there by Richards and Donald's, and it was the only RC track in Pearl River County. It was a nice track. We put a lot of work into it. We had a couple of elevated stands where you could stand on. And on a given Sunday afternoon, sometimes we would have as many as 8 to 10 cars racing down there. And, like I said, it was a lot of fun to do that. But we finally, folks just started doing other things, whatever. We don't do that. I still have one truck. I have what's called a crawler. I get out with the grandkids, play with sometimes. But the RC cars it was a lot less expensive. You didn't tear up near as much stuff. You may break a wheel or an axle or something like that, but it was fairly inexpensive, not like a airplane where you're gonna do $300 or $400 worth of damage, or either totally lose the plane. I think they're calling for good chance of rain tonight, and tomorrow looks like a pretty good chance of rain, and Sunday also a chance of rain down here. So we want to get out today and get a couple of rides in, because probably won't have the chance to do it tomorrow. Got a lot of streets up in here. Since I've been riding this bike, I zigzag around, and there ain't too many streets in here that I hadn't been on. You know, I actually know my way around in here a lot better. But if you go back in the back there, that way right there, there's some really nice hills back in there. They're probably 20, 25 degree slope, and you can really test out your e-bikes, see what kind of torque it's got getting up and down those hills. Me and Richard rode back through there a couple of times. But these bikes, this and then the Magicycle, don't have any problems with those. Streets are pretty smooth up in here, and they're going to be even smoother once they get through resurfacing. Like that's the section right here. I'm fixing to get on here. They resurfaced it last week. It's like smooth sailing. There's a few people we're starting to see more people up in here riding the e-bikes. Me and my wife, we get out and ride. Sometimes we bump into couples that we've never seen before riding, and so the e-bikes are really seem like catching on. More and more people are getting them or asking about them, want information. So they're a good thing. I think around here anyway, I'd love to see more the county invest in some good riding trails. I think Peru County could do a lot better with that. Hancock's got a few nice trails. They got a nice trail up around Hattiesburg, but as far as Peru County, I don't really know of any. But we've got some old rail lines retired 50, 60 years ago. They're sitting there, and it seemed like it'd be pretty easy to tear those rails up and convert those into tracks. People could walk on them, ride their bikes or whatever. There's one that goes from Picayune down to Stennis Space Center, which is a good 12 miles. That would make a perfect bike trail. So hopefully they will, you know, put some bugs in their ears about that, especially now that it's coming up on election time. So I'm getting down, kind of getting back close to home now, and I'm gonna go ahead and sign off here in a second. I don't think everybody, hope this hadn't been too boring for you. I'm new to this, don't even know what I'm doing. Didn't even know hardly what I was gonna talk about, but I appreciate you guys that do this a lot. I realize it's not easy to, you know, do a 15, 20-minute conversation or topic on something or other. So I'm definitely probably not the best one at this for sure. But look down in the channel there, and if you're looking for buying a bike, Magicycle, a lot of accessories. Richard's got the links there. He'd appreciate you if you're going looking at buying a bike, buy it through his link there, and you don't pay. You get some discounts and helps his channel out. He'd appreciate it. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and close out now for Rip One Outdoors. Appreciate you listening in. Later.